draw with me some armor. Should do a study of armor. My son asked me how to draw metal, so I was thinking maybe I should do like a quick study on metal. So here it is. So we're gonna do just a cylinder to start off, just to explain how I guess something reflective works in an armor piece. So it depends what kind of material it is, but we're going with like a shiny armor piece. So usually what I do is I imagine it being really reflective, so it would be reflecting its environment. So if you have a dark thing here, it would reflect. But just for a short, oh, my light went off. Oh man. Anyway, you guys could still see this. Okay, so just to shorthand it, something that would be reflecting light or dark value. So even if I don't know what's on this side, I'll just imagine it's a shape with a really dark value, like this. So it's reflecting something from there, and and it's kind of sharp, you know, the reflection. For shadow. So the shadows here, even the shadow would reflect into here. And it doesn't have to be exact. This is just like a shorthand, I guess, of trying to fake a reflection. Here I have a brush pen here, it's probably easier. So yeah, so this is how I would fake a reflection. And if there's like a darker object up here, then you know it would have a reflection here. So let's say it's like a dark object behind this thing. Then this would kind of have a reflection of it. I'm not sure if it'll go, I don't think it will go sideways because it doesn't really follow. So it's like, it could be like this. Sometimes it even would have a lost edge, you know, like that. And that would be, see, so it would look like it's reflecting it. So let's say there's an object here that's this color. I don't know what the object could be. Yeah. It's like something brown. So then, depending on how far it is and which angle from your reflective surface is gonna kind of catch it a little bit over here. Obviously, this is a little on the. It's not as subtle, so at least you could. I'm just giving like an example. So something like that. And if the sky is up here, then let's say some of the sky is showing here, then that would possibly catch the sky. Maybe the sky could even be caught here if it's over here. Then the ground. So yeah, so that's kind of the idea of doing a reflection. So let's say if it's this is what I learned in art school would be first sphere, because it's good to know what it's reflecting. But again, sometimes you just want to make up stuff and you don't know what's around it. So as long as you know that a horizon line is kind of being reflected. I know here you don't see a horizon line because it kind of stretches everything this way. But here's like a shorthand for this, the horizon line, and it's getting warped. You had your mountains and trees back here, and as it comes closer to, from the horizon, comes closer to what it's reflecting down below it. If you do have a cast shadow, then I think it would reflect some of the cast shadow, but then the corners here would reflect what's up here, and then you got the whole sky. It's like reflecting the sky. So if you had the sun coming this way, then maybe that's the hot spot right here, and then everything else is kind of like the sky and clouds and stuff. And if everything else here is green, then you'd have a green. This is all like studying all this stuff is really, I think, gets really complicated. That's why I'm like just trying to show a basic understanding so you could start off right away. Yeah, always when it's outside the blues really help with something being like chromatic. So if someone's standing here and there's a dark reflection that kind of warps the body this way, so that kind of looks like a reflection already. So you want to do armor. So I do the cylinder thing because usually when you do an armor piece, it's like a shoulder armor. Of course, in Photoshop, it's easier to do this because I could erase these marks. So this would be a cylinder. So if you think of using this kind of concept where there's always going to be this dark kind of line. I don't know what that line is, but it's dark. And one side's has a reflection, the other side's having a reflection. It's catching light pretty much. And we don't know what these things are, these two dark parts are, but it's something, and and you'd have the highlight in the middle. It's gonna be sharper, like a sharper. And it could get soft as it tapers off. Just decide which side will be the softer side and which side will be the harder side. Sometimes both sides could be hard, and it just depends on what value you put here in this side. Like I could put the blue. It doesn't have to be blue, but the sky would be the only one that's blue up here, right? And then this side would probably get whatever's on the ground. Or if the sun's on this side, this part will be really bright. So I'd probably put this. This would be grayer. Something like that. I don't know if you guys can see this. And then you've got the armor. And in Photoshop, I just put like a highlight right there. Yeah, see, does it feel reflective? punching in the darker parts. So this is what I mean when I'm softening it going that way, but it's hard going inside. And this is more like shorthand, right, to make it feel reflective. So the more I darken this, it'll feel more reflective. Because it's like, it like crunches, I guess, makes things more contrasty. The cast shadows on that. Yeah, anyway, I would, let me see if I could find my, like a white, here, I think this is silver. So, because I want the light, this edge to catch the light, maybe that could make it feel more reflective. See how it cuts into that, and then sometimes that helps with making it more reflective. So with this idea, like even here, I could start just cutting into the form. You know, this. So it's good to try to render basic shapes like this and understanding how you render it before you put all the extra stuff on top. And sometimes even if it's not totally correct, it could feel correct. So now with this idea, we could go into rendering like Colossus or something, you know. So if I just a simple basic shape, let's say we're gonna draw Colossus. I love sketching Colossus when I was younger, and I think I'm still, when I was like at high school, I can still remember how I was trying to figure out how, you know, how to render render muscles, and I think sometimes overthinking it was the problem, but at the same time I didn't have any knowledge. So now okay, so now we're gonna like render this, just a quick render. By the way, when I do this, the idea is just all like cylinders. Do a cylinder for this, then just put a round muscle inside that cylinder like this. That's kind of what's going through my head. Anyway, okay, let's render Colossus real quick. Oh, also one last other thing. This is how I do like a quick stick figure. Alright, let's do Colossus. I'm not gonna promise this is gonna look the best, but we'll just try. So this muscle in the front here is gonna be like a kind of a flatter muscle, right? This, and this one will be more like a curve. Like if we saw it from the side, it would be more like this, like a half cylinder. So if it catch light or dark parts of the environment, it would catch it maybe lower here, or you would catch it up here. Then maybe there's a bigger space that it catches the light. So it's like I have to decide which one fits this chest better. And with no reference, I'm just gonna use what we talked about earlier, just reflecting what is already there. So doing a cast shadow here, this part reflects that cast shadow somewhat. And then he'll have his neck here, so I'm reflecting something dark here. And I'm just making this up really, just the idea of that we talked about earlier, like a dark side that's really sharp, and then an extra line that goes beside. This is pretty much the concept we're gonna do for this one. So I'll have this really sharp shape, and then do the metal cuts. So sharpen that shape, it's reflecting whatever's back here. I realize this face is too small. He looks like Frankenstein. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna put cast shadow first, and then this reflects the cast shadow here. Then maybe reflecting the head right there. Again, this doesn't mean it's right. I'm just trying to make it seem like it's. Oh, I think I made a mistake there. I think it's supposed to be this way. See this, what I did there? That's kind of like I'm doing this. Again, I don't know what's in the environment. I'm just gonna do the one big line, really hard shape with a tiny line around it. And this is reflecting the dark part of this armpit, this cast shadow here, and inside the armpit part. So it's kind of reflecting that here. And maybe this part's reflecting the ground. I mean, you just have to, I guess, play with it and see which ones fit. Do you see how it's like slowly getting there out, doing this big shape and then this shape, so it's like a reflection. So now we're going to the bicep. So the bicep is like, it's a cylinder like this. So whenever it's long, it will stretch out the reflection like that, and I do the extra shape. So one big shape, one small shape. So again, one big shape, one small shape, dark shape. Yeah, isn't that it's just interesting how it could work that way, and since this is turning like this, you could have this reflect the forearm. Okay, now this forearm right here, what I'm gonna do with this forearm, since it's turned this way and more like a cylinder this way, you could see the top. So this is the ground, it's reflecting the ground. So the ground is probably gonna be darker, so that's gonna reflect more of, take up more space. So that's what I'm gonna do with this. It's gonna be lit from the side. Yeah, somewhere like that. And when I paint it in Photoshop, I'm gonna keep these in mind. And I'm gonna keep this light because I'm gonna reflect the ground. Like that's gonna be like brown. And up here is gonna be like the sky. Okay, so now this part, so I'm just gonna divide this into the abs right here, and then you got the rib muscles, then your obliques. He has this big belt that does this thing. Okay. Okay, so then this shape right here is like a cylinder. Again, that's why cylinders, I think, is one of the best things to practice. Like, get still life, buy a chrome cylinder and just paint from life, and then just put different things around it to reflect, so you can see the reflection. So this ab area will be like this. So maybe one side will be reflecting, and then the other side like this, or I could decide that this whole ab part will reflect something in the front of him, or so I'm gonna decide that's I'm gonna decide actually let me think which would be best. Maybe, okay, I'll reflect from here, but keep in mind there's like a center line there, so I won't paint on that center line. So I could reflect that, yeah, there. And remember what we said before, big shape and then a small shape on the side, small shape on the side. Then it could, like, this one's reflecting something here, big shape, and then a small line on the side like this. Yeah, and then we're faking reflectivity. Hey, hi, R.I.P. Black, Dark, Dark, yes. Your drawings are very good. Thank you so much, Brazilian SPU. Thank you for joining me again. Yeah, my son just asked me how to render metal, and I'm thinking, oh, this is one good way to render, a simple way, I guess, to understand it, but there's so much more that goes to it. It seems simple, because after you get this cylinder shape, you have to, like, think about pushing it in and then out because of the ab part. So this gets darker or lighter depending on how it's, reflective. Do you see? This feels reflective. Here we'll do another example on the cylinder. Like, the middle would be taking a lot of space. One side you want it to be, like, really sharp. The other side is not as sharp. Yeah, it feels reflective. What if the floor is also reflective? Right now. Yeah, it's difficult sometimes, but you guys will get it. So yeah, definitely try this. Try this for practice. Just any shape, do this shape, cylinder shape. A very dark shape here, and then do another dark line there. If it's a cone, then you just make sure one side is sharp, and then it kind of. The only reason there's a second line like this is to make it seem like that's where the gradation is. Then if it's a circle, that's but you guys will understand it more once you do studies. And this is just me trying to give it symbol. Like, this is the ground, but I'm symbolizing it in this big black shape. And then it feels reflective, right? And if you do skin, it's the same thing. Everything's reflective. It's just not, the percentage of how reflective it is what you need to kind of understand. Yes, if it's his face will be skin, he won't have all the like reflective shapes, or like if there's a green, if the sky, with the blue sky, sorry, and it reflects on his metal forehead, while in regular skin you won't see it. So yeah, so if I did a so if this was an arm, then that idea I'll be able to use here, and then this triangle would be over here, right? And like if I have to do spikes, I would darken the middle part of this, then it will feel reflective, even if it's wrong. Like if I place it on this side, it feels wrong. But you're saying it's reflective, so yeah, there's some other things to go through with this, but I hope this helps with the idea of drawing metal. Okay, let's do like a shoulder pad like this. This is the thing I designed for Incredible Hulk. It would be right. This is a little difficult because the tops here would be almost like this triangle cut out like this. So this a little bit more complicated, but at the bottom here, the base is a cylinder, so I'm gonna choose which side is the dark, how much dark value is gonna be reflected. I will just decide it's gonna be the middle of this whole thing will be reflecting, maybe a dark ceiling or something. Like that. And put the line right here. Yeah. Because maybe it's reflecting something else, the ground, like a lighter value. Excuse me. Okay. And then this one will be reflecting this dark shape, but not as dark. Should it turn like this? Actually, I don't know. I have to research if that's something that it does. But one thing for sure, this parts will reflect the sky. So yeah, does that look reflective? And your shoulders here and the face of Incredible Hulk's on this side. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. And yeah, thank you for watching. I will be bringing this to Photoshop later and do like a mini tutorial. If you guys are interested, please comment down below. Thank you again. Have a great weekend.